All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Always Chillin podcast. Skinny Dean the Sandman here in the barbershop once again. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I see the analytics, man. I know like 40% of the people that watch the videos aren't subscribed. So, hey, maybe today's the day you subscribe. We're 7 followers away from 1,000 followers on Instagram as of right now.
Love to love.
Yeah, so if you're watching us on YouTube and you don't follow us on Instagram, follow us over there. And nothing special is going to happen when we hit 1,000. I just think it'd be cool. All right. Real quick, I want to talk about the podcast. Not only am I one of the hosts on the show, I think I'm also the number one fan. I don't know about you, dude, but like I get out of here, man. I get out of here and I forget what we talked about. And then I edit it and I throw it up on YouTube and then I'm the first one to watch it. I sit on my couch, I watch it, I laugh my ass off. I love our show. I love our show, dude.
If I'm cracking up at us, I know other people gotta be like, these motherfuckers is crazy.
Yeah, so if you like the show as much as we do, leave us a review, follow us on all our stuff. Like I said, give us a subscribe, like the video, helps a lot. And I'll be right there on Tuesday morning watching it with you guys. So you want to talk about Simone Biles was on your list of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
I haven't been super up on the situation. I understand she left the Olympic team and it was for mental health reasons. I see a lot of people have a lot of feelings about it, man. I think good for her, honestly.
Yes, definitely. I definitely commend the baby girl, and I'm going to call her a baby girl because she's a baby to me.
Sure.
I actually, and maybe this is the asshole in me, I think she did too much explaining.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, yeah.
I think, you say what you need to say once, and, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
Quit bothering me. It's whatever. I mean, for one thing, this baby is performing in front of the world.
Yeah.
In front of the world.
Yeah, and she's like representing every sexual assault survivor.
You
in
know
America.
what I mean? And this and that and that, and
on top of that, she's supposed to be winning gold medals.
You dig?
Like, as if all that other stuff wasn't enough.
I don't know exactly how old she is. Early, mid-20s.
Yeah, I think she's in her 20s.
Yeah, but, well, as you know, I know in the sports world, your age doubles, sometimes triples. So maybe in her sport, she's probably 50, 55 years old. She's been doing this since yay high.
Yeah, I don't know how long you can do that. We saw this video of this girl trying her hardest and just face planting right into the mat on the Olympics on TV, man. She's trying to do the same, like, I don't know what they're called, tricks. I don't want to call them tricks. That sounds like that's not what they're called.
Stunts.
But yeah, she's trying to do the same movement twice and she just smacks face first, bam, into the canvas 2 times in a row.
I've never done a flip in my life.
On TV. No, I
not
can't
on
even,
purpose.
I mean, I can't even do a somersault, I bet.
Imagine, yeah, and on top of that, I don't think people care to really dig into the situation. You know what I mean? She lost a brother.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, just, to bring up the Shikari, deal, there's many other negative things that she could have did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead, and then there's a term that I just heard either this morning or yesterday in the gymnastics world where they call it the twisties. Yeah.
What's that?
The twisties where, I'm going to, your body's, they're flipping and.
Yeah. Yeah. So
like in vertigo,
like in dizzy and shit. Okay.
Kind of like vertigo.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Like vertigo. You don't know if you're standing on your head or your toes, if the roof is the floor.
Yeah. I'm sure I saw an interview from her. Like, I think I was reading it at work yesterday or Friday. And she said that when she's in the air, she has no idea where she's even at.
Yeah,
she
imagine that.
She doesn't know where she's going to land until her feet hit the ground.
Oh, my God.
She doesn't even know if she's going to land on her feet.
Imagine that.
Gymnastics is crazy.
Ooh, yeah, that's a hella sport, man. That's a hella sport.
But yeah, first of all, everybody that's mad about it, I mean, Simone Biles, she don't owe you anything.
She don't owe y'all nothing.
Like, she already got I don't even know how many gold medals. Like, what else do you want from her, man?
I mean, let's even go to Tiger Woods, man. Now we talking about athletes and in sports and all that. I would never condone a man cheating on his wife, but even that, the dude had, explained too much. You know what I mean? I mean, there's just the public don't need to know everything about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, goddamn, it's what do people really want from this little girl?
Right. Yeah. And it's like the people who are saying she needs to be tough, whatever. I mean, they're the same people that wouldn't wear a mask at the grocery store. Man.
Wouldn't wear a mask.
Maybe that's a hot take, but like they're the same people who are talking about I don't want to wear a mask because I don't think I should have to.
Well,
But I mean, she needs to toughen up and do 1 billion front flips so that you can watch her on TV and clap. Like, do you even care about the Olympics?
I mean, the people don't even want them there.
Right. Well, and like the people that are upset about Simone Biles dropping out of the Olympics or whatever, were they even watching? Do they even actually
Do people watch the Olympics?
like, do they even actually care? Or do they only care because they feel like she's like disrespecting America now?
There we go.
But you weren't watching, probably.
There we go.
So
That's
like,
that's what
I
it
don't
is. Because I mean, even the so-called patriotic, I don't think. Because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched the Olympics since 1992
Yeah, I haven't watched them at all this year.
when we had to stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning to watch the original Dream Team. So yeah, you know, and that was that. You know, I haven't watched the Olympics, and I think we mentioned it a couple shows ago where let's kind of remake the Olympics.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, is baseball in the Olympics?
No.
Baseball's not in the Olympics.
No, I don't think baseball is a global sport, really. Though it's like here, Latin America. They play the shit out of baseball in Japan, and I think in South Korea too.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Yeah.
So I don't think enough places would field a team.
I mean, but it's like who curls anymore? You know what I mean? Who?
I guess every country ever, man.
Every country but America.
They added skateboarding, I think. This
Yeah,
year.
I saw that 2 little 13-year-old girls. Man, that was amazing.
Which someone was like, "Man, these are the worst skateboarders I've ever seen in my life" on Twitter or something, and someone was like, "Yeah, well, they're the only ones that could pass the drug test."
Shots.
Yeah.
Shots.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They had to get all the skateboarders that don't smoke weed. And that probably does limit your selection.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to do. That's gonna be real hard to do. Not a skateboarder, drug free, at least bud.
But yeah, I haven't watched the Olympics at all. I probably didn't watch the last ones either. I don't know. I just don't care.
Basketball
really.
teams getting whooped.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just don't.
I think they got beat by Nigeria. Yeah, they got beat by Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's that's the first I've heard of it, man.
France gave them a run for their money, but France had like 3 NBA players. You know what I mean? So we're not dominating in that sport anymore. You know what I mean? So do people really support the Olympics anymore? Raise your hand if you do. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's fun to watch. I get, but you try to watch it live, don't you have to be up at like 4 a.m?
Yeah, and that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah.
All the news that I'm getting about the Olympics, bro, is like the local people are like protesting. They don't want them there.
Yeah,
that's
cool. Well, and there was like athletes dropping out left and right.
Well, athletes, you know, that were tested, you know, clean here, but get over there are in catching the COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, they say no clapping. Well, no, it's no fans, right? I haven't been watching. So I'm asking the wrong man.
Yeah, I have no idea. Dude.
Well, the rules were the beginning: no clapping, no screaming, no hollering, no high-fiving.
Like for the athletes? Like
the athletes
aren't
too.
allowed to be doing that?
For the athletes too.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, what the hell?
Like the NBA bubble kind of like thing. I mean, they were better off just putting cardboard, you know, fucking figures in the stands, but I don't think they even did that. But yeah, the most news that I've seen about the Olympics are the local people do not want them there. But then I'm like, well,
do you know what the problem is? Do you know what they're
COVID?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess.
Strictly COVID, bro.
That's a good enough reason for me, man.
It's nothing racial. It's nothing like that. It's strictly COVID. They're like, no, we don't want you guys here. Apparently, they had it under control better than we did at one time, and they didn't, you know, blase blah. You know that.
Right. I see. They didn't want us. They didn't want all the athletes coming in.
They didn't want
and
all the
spreading
athletes
some
coming
around.
in. I mean, shit, I got nervous during the Lincoln Marathon.
Really?
Yeah, man. I remember that day specifically.
That does go like right by here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting so many, you know, walk-in calls, you know what I mean? And I was just like, wait a minute, these people are coming from everywhere. And I had already cut a guy from Senegal, a guy from Wales, you know, and I'm like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, fuck that.
I ain't risking this. You know what I mean? I'm out of here, man. I left hair on the floor and everything, man. I came back that Tuesday. My sign was still blinking. But yeah, I was like, holy shit, man. These people are coming from everywhere. So yeah, I understand. I mean, that was I think Lincoln Marathon is the second or third largest marathon in the country now.
Is it really?
Yeah, bro.
Damn,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah. It brings thousands, I'm sure, here.
Damn.
I mean, they shut down the whole city.
Yeah, I had no idea. I've never even watched them. I've never even like sat on the road and watched.
Me neither.
Like I don't even know why people do that.
Every year I say I'm gonna ride my bike, but I never do. It's just people running. I had a homeboy to run it one time though.
Yeah. Did he like it? Did he do it twice?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
That's just crazy. Running will beat the shit out of you. I saw another video on like TikTok or something with my wife, and this dude recorded the end of the triathlon. And these dudes, as soon as they cross the finish line, man, they're just collapsing. Yeah, they're just straight to the ground. Yeah. It showed like an aerial shot, and there was like 50 dudes on the ground like crawling, and it's like that shit doesn't look fun.
Total body shutdown.
Yeah,
man.
god damn.
Total body shutdown.
Yeah, they're out there pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
I cut a guy once was a let me say this right, open ocean distance swimmer.
Oh,
yeah, this guy's head, man, was huge.
He had a big head.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this dude isn't like built like a human, man. This dude, he was just like abnormally large, bro. So I'm like, you do what, man? I'm like, what about sharks and shit? Yeah, they drop nets, and then I'm like,
they drop nets.
The ocean is like miles deep, bro. But yeah, he was a client of mine for a while, man. And man, that dude was an open ocean distance swimmer.
Damn.
Yeah.
He was a client? What happened to him? He got eaten by a shark?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he moved to the coast. He was originally from Boston. Boston.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense for him to live on the coast, I guess, if he's out there ocean distance swimming.
Yeah, there's just some shit. Triathlete, man. Oh my God. When do you ever stop training for that shit?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you
can
afford to.
I don't think you get any days off, man.
I know on the weight pile you miss a day. They say what? You miss a day, it's really 2.
Yeah.
That's what they say, but I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? What do you think about kids on leashes? Have you seen that?
Yeah,
I saw this lady the other day, and let me just tell you. I guess the optics of it is what made me kind of go, what? I saw this lady, and she was a white lady, and she had a little black kid on a leash. And it's just like, yeah, man. Yeah, it's like it's probably like maybe it's her grandson or her adopted son or something. I don't know, but it's just the optics of that. It just doesn't look good.
I know it doesn't matter, but biracial or total black.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Just a little black kid.
Yeah,
yeah, man, damn.
Yeah, I think kids on leashes is kind of weird.
Kids on leashes
is kind of weird anyway, but when it's like a white lady and a little black boy,
that's
it's
definitely not good.
It's
That's
just weird,
definitely
man.
not good.
I don't know if I'd go out in public like that.
If you want to implant some shit and some fucked up shit into your kid's head, go ahead. If that's what you want to do, if that's your plan, by all means, put your kids on a leash. But what the fuck?
But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't have any kids, but I'm like, what do you like? If your kid does just take off running every single time you put him on the ground, like, what do you do?
But see, older lady, older than me, young, older than me.
She looked like she would probably be the kid's grandma.
It's still, I can't commend that. But at the same time, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Having kids is tough.
I don't know. People say that. People say that.
I don't know. I'm like, maybe I'll get there and I'll be like, I need a leash for these kids. And I don't know.
Raising kids to me, and maybe it's because I was raised with my cousins.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. My cousins were my first friends,
mm-hmm.
So there was always at least 4 or 5 of us over somebody's house, either our house, my auntie's house, whatever. And yeah, we were kids. You know, we would do shit. Shit would get broke. Noises would be made. Sure. You know, all of that. And I think this look is universal. But as soon as there was a sound that wasn't good, mom or dad came around the corner.
Yeah, gives you the eyes.
And you got that get right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nowadays, I think, especially in public,
yeah,
you mean mug your kid and shit. Yeah. You ain't even touched him, but you just beaming him. You know what I mean? Somebody probably called the fucking police on you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I think that needs to be instilled again. You know what I mean? One thing when my mom pulled up to the store, Nah, not just my mom, my dad too. Grandma, aunties, uncles, everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get a pep talk before we even get out of the car in the fucking parking lot. Don't touch shit. Don't look at shit.
Yeah.
And don't say shit.
Yeah. Well, I think this is where the big difference is. I don't know if it's right or wrong. Everybody's scared to say something to somebody else's kids now.
Yeah, definitely.
Like back in the day, I feel like I was a lot more likely to get a talking to from just like
you had that as a kid.
Okay, just like some random older person. Like that was something that I had to worry about, but I never say anything to somebody's kids.
Was it someone that knew you on a personal level?
No, it's like a stranger.
Okay,
complete stranger.
Well,
like at the store, like I'm fucking around,
and that's still dope because they like, hey man, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean it's not anything weird. It was just like, hey, that's not how you act in the store.
That ain't what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, back in my day, and this is pre-cell phone, none of that shit. There was that old lady on the corner that knew every last one of y'all's fucking names.
Oh.
You know what I mean? On a personal level.
And then it would get back.
And it would get back, you know what I mean? Yeah. And by the time you got home, mom was ready to smoke you already at the door. You know, and then, like I said, this is pre-cell phone. And then it went from Miss Hattie Mae on the corner to Mr. Johnson in the middle, and he might have gotten his pickup, go down, get a quarter beer, and seen your dad just watering his grass. Now, you know your boys and them down here, they on their way. Such and such seen them and gave him the whole spiel.
Right.
So by the time you get home, you can't lie. You know what I mean? You either get smoke or you get that talking to. But yeah, it did, and we didn't talk back to them because we knew Miss Hattie Mae go to church with grandma.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mr. Earl in the middle of the block, he know my uncle. You know what I mean? And everybody knew some, you know, so we couldn't. There was no fuck you. Nah, there wasn't none of that.
Yeah. See, I think that's the big difference. It's like I feel like strangers are super unlikely to say anything to somebody else's kid, and I think the kid's parents are super unlikely to take the stranger's side about it. You know, I feel like if somebody's like, if you're in line at the grocery store and a kid's fucking around and you tell the kid, hey, knock it off, like the mom will probably get mad at you.
I got a story exactly what you were saying.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it was my oldest daughter. I think she's 19 now. I think she was going to Lincoln High to be a freshman. So, you know, we go to check out the school and, you know, and all of that, right? And she's like, this school's huge, Dad. And I'm like, yeah. So you this is why you got to come do this, right? Well, yeah. I know, and then, you know, we had to go from like 1, 2, 3 station, get the schedule, do boom, boom, like that. Ran real smooth. I'm like, damn, they didn't do this shit in my day. But I noticed like off, like in a corner, like the velvet rope at the movie theater, right? I noticed there was a group of gals, just girls. And I thought maybe it was a cheerleading, you know, girl sports, you know, whatever. My daughter didn't play sports, so I thought that's what it was. Well, by the time we get to the end of this,
up again.
we're walking out in the front of Lincoln High,
yeah,
and I see this group of gals, and they're, you know, talking shit, like, you know, I don't know why I can't wear, you know, this, you know, and that and that and that. And one of the teachers, I'm assuming one of the teachers, could have been the principal, is walking out with them, explaining to them why they can't dress the way they're dressed in school. Well, we're probably about 10 feet behind them, so we can still hear them. You know, they ain't trying to be quiet, so we can still hear them. Now, there were 3 women in that group who were the mothers cussing out the teacher.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I was like, holy shit. And I'm looking at my daughter like, you know, with the look like, you know what I mean? So, and she just put her head down like, yeah, this is crazy. These are the mothers cussing out the teacher, and your daughter's ass and titties is hanging out. And you I remember my sisters couldn't wear skirts, bro.
Yeah.
I remember my sister sneaking out a skirt and must have put it on at school and forgot it, or my mom went to come pick them up or something and got smoked. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? When you get 18, you know what I mean? 16, I think it was for my sisters. You know what I mean? You can wear a skirt. You know, damn, my mom come up here and take your side over the teacher. Never that. Yeah, that's crazy. And
Yeah, it's just weird. I feel like a kid could come up and just like punch me in the face, and then if I say anything to him, I just have to fight his dad.
Hey, and that's man, that's crazy that it comes to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll never say it. Like somebody's kid is making a ruckus or whatever, I'm just putting my AirPods on noise canceling and getting the fuck on, man.
Not me,
like,
man. I'm gonna say something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say something. Like I had a kid in the chair the other day, right? And
yeah, I feel like that's a good play. I feel like the Barber is that's a good one.
Oh,
That's
I had that
like,
ass, man.
Yeah,
Everybody in here was looking at me like, you know what I mean? But
Barber's like Barber. That's a good opportunity to be a good role model.
that's why I am the way I am,
Barber,
man.
yeah.
Well, there was a language barrier between me and his mom, not him. Again, Latino families, the child speaks for him. Not a problem.
Yeah,
I understand that. That's culture. But hair crazy than a motherfucker, man. Need chop. I wanted to operation chop off. You know what I mean? It's 108 degrees out here. Your hair, it stinks. It smells like sulfur.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You preteen. I know you ain't washing your ass. So he tells me what he wants. I'm like, all right. So I start doing it, right? And I'm looking at mom, and mom's just looking at me like, I'm about to cut your throat. So I'm like, hey, man. And so she gets up and stands next to me. And now I haven't had a mother stand next to me while I'm cutting hair, and this kid's kind of like too old for that. So I'm like, hey, man, what's your mom saying?
Yeah, what's the fucking deal?
He said, nothing. She just wants to know how long it's gonna take. Now I'm like, I know a little bit, and that's not what she said.
Yeah.
What's your mom saying, bro? And I'm saying, your mom wants you to cut this shit off, doesn't she? And she must have caught a little bit of what I said, and yeah. I said, hey man, I'm not going against your mom.
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna do that, homie. I don't know where else you go to get your hair cut, but I see the way your mom's looking at me and the way she's looking at you. And I'm not gonna go against your mom, dog. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah, well, especially when you just lied to me.
You just lied to me, and I want to kick your ass.
Yeah, like why would I be on your side now?
And I kind of got at him. You know what I mean? Like I do. And you know what? She sat down. And was like, "Oh, this man got this." So I was like, I saluted her on the way out. Like I see you in your boy's ass. He thought he was gonna come in here and pull over one on you. Nah, it ain't happening in here, bro. So I'm the one. I will say something to your little punk ass, and if we got bang out, I bang out, dog.
Yeah, I feel like people need that, man. Like people, like I don't want to know somebody who isn't like worried about what strangers will do if they go against like the societal norm, kind of, like not anything serious, but just like to know that strangers have lives too, like they have places they need to be too. Like you're not the most important thing in the world here, and we have a system and it works as long as everybody drives on the right side of the road,
Yeah, and not that it's a bad thing, but I think people are just more involved with their own lives.
Yeah, well, and if people spend their whole lives like not worried about strangers checking them, they just do whatever the fuck they want.
You dig?
And they don't care about cutting somebody off. Or,
you dig. Not that I'm trying to be intimidating, but
no,
I'm going to let my presence be known.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, man.
And if you feeling froggy over there, you got the right one over here.
Yeah, maybe you're doing something that's affecting my life at this point,
right.
And I just got to let you know that, hey,
this is my good vibe.
This is affecting me right now.
This is affecting me right now, man. And and I'll talk to him like that, I'm going to treat you like a young man, but this just ain't how a young man acts right now.
Yeah, see, people aren't used to that.
They're not.
And then they go, "Mom."
Well, that's what me and my cousin was talking about the other day, man. They want, and I don't consider us those old guys yet, but they want my generation, my type of guy. They want us gone. We're in the way. It's just because of our strong beliefs. We still believe in a lot of those 70s, some 60s, 70s, and 80s values. You know what I mean? There's a code. You know what I mean? I don't need to know everything about you. I don't want to know everything about you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I lived by that for so long.
Sure.
I don't need to know necessarily where you working, how much who you sleeping. I don't need. I lived and it worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it worked. You know what I mean? Now just everybody wants to know and everybody wants to tell, and I don't know.
Yeah. I'm a nosy husband though. For sure. Like when my wife gets on the phone and she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, put it on speaker.
Yeah.
Like, who is it? Who is it? Put that on speaker. Who is it?
Some shit I gotta know. Some shit.
I just want to know what's going on.
Well, my dad used to tell me, knowing everything will get you in trouble.
That's true. Yeah.
Knowing a little bit, motherfuckers will leave you alone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I
agree. I just sometimes
like, hey man, I don't really know.
Sometimes I just want to know.
There's a good time to know. There's a good time to know. Good time to know. Information is information either way.
Yeah.
I used to read the phone book taking a shit, bro.
Yeah, those
information.
Those were the days.
Do they still make phone books? Is phone books still around?
Nah, I don't think so.
Damn.
We're still watching Friends, and they were like, somebody said something. They're like, "Oh, I don't have your number." They're like, "Oh, I'm in the book," and I'm like, "Damn, that's fucking crazy." If people knew your name, they could just look up your phone number in a book that they just had in their house.
Yup.
But I remember the phone book. I remember ordering pizza and shit out of the phone book.
Okay, I was about to say, you had a phone book growing up.
Yeah.
The phone book, man, there's a lot of information in that motherfucker, man. I used to read that bitch front to back sometimes. Find out what ethnic group, you know what I mean? What names, you know, weird names. And yeah, I'm weird like that.
Yeah, well, plus back in the day, we just used to be bored while we were pooping, man.
Yeah, I would actually read.
Yeah, I was reading, like, I knew all the ingredients on the shampoo.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit like that.
Knew all that shit. Cosmo magazine, man, helped me with the ladies as a youngster, man.
Oh, you got the other perspective. You got like the answers to the test.
Yes. Yes. That's
you going in there like Rico Suave.
That's the benefits of growing up in the house with women, man. Them Cosmo magazines was laying everywhere. And I would do, those little quizzes and shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. That's me. That's when I used to be real self-conscious about these scars around my eyes, you know what I mean?
It
looks like a complete circle, so I used to be real self-conscious about it. I remember reading that specific article about how women love scars on men's faces, in distinct spots, So I was like, oh, I'm the shit. Mine's is on there.
Yeah, man.
I'm good. So I used to rock that shit, man.
Hey, that's cool.
Cosmo magazine, fellas. Cosmo magazine. Don't be ashamed.
Or just Google it. Now you can just Google it.
Yeah.
You don't got to get a magazine subscription now. You just Google it. Here's a question: If you could time travel, you go anywhere you wanted to. Where would it be?
Where would it be, or what year?
Well, I mean, like what year? Well, both, I guess. Like I'm a history type dude, so I'd want to see like dinosaurs. I think seeing the future would be scary.
Yeah, that just made me shiver. I don't think I would want to go ahead.
Yeah, not at all. Like, what if you're like, I'm gonna go to the year 2300 and
that's a very interesting question because
Yeah,
I've thought about this. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go to 2300 and you get there and it's just empty. That'd be some scary shit, dude.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn. Can we take things with us?
Sure. Yeah.
Like modern day weaponry? Can we take it with us?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm going back to the day they bought slaves off the ships.
So you're gonna change history.
I'm gonna change that shit, dog. I'm blowing all them motherfuckers away, dog.
Okay. I wonder what that would do
with modern day weaponry. Woo, that would freaking.
Well, I mean, I'm saying, like, I wonder what that would do to like history if like slavery didn't happen.
Well, I wouldn't be on this side. I would have to be on that side. So technically, I would never have been here. Mm-hmm. That's how.
Yeah, it should be crazy.
Right. Maybe not either.
Yeah, that'd be a huge butterfly effect. That's not even a butterfly effect, man.
Neither one of us are speaking our native tongues.
Yeah.
I would go back and definitely change that history. And then just take over from there. Not take over.
Oh, I was like, whoa.
Let me fix that. Not take over in a sinister way, but with my knowledge, my modern day knowledge. Oh, dog, it would definitely be different. Definitely be different. Damn, that's crazy. You read my mind, man. I've thought about that many times.
Yeah. What about like just to visit?
Just to visit?
Yeah, what about not to like change the course of history, but just like check some shit out?
I want to go back to the 60s, man.
Yeah, something
about the 60s.
Yeah, that's just I don't know. It just seems too recent, man. Like I'm talking like you had like it's got like one charge. You got one trip.
Damn.
Yeah, like I think the '60s is too recent, man. That's like
Yeah.
that's like a
Maybe that is
you
too
could just
recent.
yeah, I could just ask somebody about that. You know, like see what dinosaurs were actually about. Like
The
did
depression.
they have feathers
the,
or what?
The depression era.
You want to see that? That would be pretty wild.
I mean, because it's one thing that's not talked about, you know, because a lot of those people are gone now, you know what I mean? But the things that these people had to do.
Yeah, people got real frugal, like eating dandelion salad. I saw a recipe for dandelion salad.
Boiling grass.
Yeah.
I mean, saving foil, you know, not throwing anything away, using everything from the rooter to the tutor. I mean, just.
Yeah, my grandma still didn't throw shit away.
Mine either.
She'll reuse Ziploc bags.
Mine either.
Well, I mean, this is like a story I heard from someone, from like three people. Like it came through like three people before I heard it, but like I think like my grandma's grandma used to make her like take off the wrapping paper on her presents like nicely so that she could like reuse it for the next year.
Crazy shit, man. Yeah, the Depression era, it's always been interesting to me, man.
Yeah,
and it's not talked about. Like I said, a lot of those people are gone now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just listening. I mean, you go down to my grandma's basement, man, and she has food down there for probably 5-6 years. It's like
It's not necessarily a bad way to be.
no, it's not.
Like will she need it? Probably not.
Probably not. But
Does anybody need something like that? Probably
Yeah.
not. But when you need it,
Right.
you'll really wish you fucking
and you
had
can
it.
tell, but you can tell is, you know, it's the era, you know, that she's from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that would do that to anybody though. It's like people think they're sitting cozy, and then one day they just have no money. Like one day they're planning on retiring. They have a retirement account. They have a savings account, and then it's just all just gone.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, that would scare somebody for sure. Like
It would.
Yeah, I can understand why people from that era would be so scared of something happening again, because it's like it just happened one day.
And that was what, 30s, 20s to the 30s.
Yeah, and then there was a big old war.
Yeah.
That fixed it.
Yeah.
Weird,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Took all the men out of the country, put the women in the factories to benefit the war. And the war only.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's a good answer. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say the Depression. Usually
Yeah.
it's like ancient Rome, dinosaurs.
I got a little beef with dinosaurs.
You do? Okay, let's hit it.
I think if dinosaurs existed, then we gotta talk about giants. We gotta talk about the Nephilim people, and I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, the Nephilim.
Nephilim. We gotta talk about them too.
Sure.
I mean, just like they're finding dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
I think it was in and I could have this wrong, Cozumel, somewhere in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They, you know, dinosaur bones, but I think it was 600 yards, maybe 1,000 yards away. They found a 36 foot skeleton.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna Google it.
yeah.
That would be
Check
fucking
it out.
crazy.
Check it out.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah, man.
Let's see.
Pyramids and everything in Mexico. Pyramids everywhere.
Yeah. See, that's one of
that's
the
a
things.
sign.
That's one of the things on Ancient Aliens that made me go. They were like, because pyramids showed up in Egypt and South America and Mexico, and I think there was even some in Asia, and they showed up like all at the same time.
The ones in Asia are like tiny ones, and they're all close together.
Yeah, like, and they even like the pyramid shape didn't happen at all, but then it all showed up at the same time. Like these dudes had Wi-Fi or something. It's weird. That's one of the things that, like, most of the stuff I kind of go, maybe, but
then it starts to make sense.
yeah. But that one, like, that is kind of weird. And then I'm like, maybe that was.
And
just,
I say that, and I only say this, bro. There was a TV show back in the day. I can't remember the name of it, man. But it had dinosaurs and the Neanderthal.
Mm-hmm.
Neanderthal. Why weren't they giants?
Oh, I don't know, because they evolved from Little tiny lemurs.
Yeah, but that time, I mean, it's just the time frames are all fucked up for me, and being
Right.
from being a kid,
Yeah.
it's just like nothing's been concrete for me enough.
Yeah, well, there's just like a lot of people know a lot of stuff, but nobody knows everything.
You dig?
You know, so that's
You
kind of
dig?
it leaves holes. But I don't think people and dinosaurs were around at the same time ever.
Then there's that. They say that.
Yeah. Like the stuff I used to watch. Like I used to go to the library and check out VHS tapes. Remember that, guys? I used to go to the library and check out VHS tapes of like about dinosaurs. I was into dinosaurs. I was a dinosaur kid. For
Okay.
sure. Yeah. So like, the dinosaurs going extinct apparently is what allowed the monkeys, the little tiny monkeys, to grow into bigger monkeys, and then eventually turned into people.
Well, the story
So,
I
like,
heard, they just said straight man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, they would have to be big enough to defeat them. You ain't gonna 100 month.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's what it was saying. They weren't. The only reason that the mammals like started growing is because all the dinosaurs went extinct. Something killed all the big stuff, and then all
then
that's left
we
was
have no
little
proof
stuff.
of that.
Yeah, and who knows? Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of looking into that because, like, if it was a big old asteroid, like there'd be a big crater somewhere. Like, and again, I don't know anything about this. I'm not trying to pretend like I know anything about it. I'm just saying, like, wouldn't that be like a big tourist thing?
Well, maybe the crater.
I mean,
maybe the crater is the Arizona desert.
Yeah,
Because
maybe it's
otherwise,
just-
how'd the sand get there?
Yeah, maybe it's just that big. I don't know. I don't know how sand gets. But
Yeah,
we're getting pretty far out of my depth.
Yeah.
into science.
Dinosaurs.
On this.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, it's just all the stories since a kid. Nobody's had any concrete evidence. And then when they do find bones, it's always just one or two. You know, kind of like the Bigfoot thing. Why are you only seeing one?
Yeah, well, yeah, Bigfoot. I don't think.
Shouldn't it be like?
Yeah, I don't think
A
Bigfoot's
colonies,
real, but
you
they
know
have
what I mean?
they have whole dinosaur skeletons.
Yeah, but it's only just one. Like if they died, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It should be like 20 up 30, you know, in a group, 1, 2. Why is it
yeah.
always
Well,
just
it's like
one or two?
fossilization's like a whole process,
Yeah,
and most of it turned into oil.
yeah.
Most of the dinosaurs are making our cars drive
Well,
around
the,
right
the
now.
tar pits in California.
Yeah, well, there's those ones right out here in Ashland.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They are finding a lot of
Yeah,
shit
you
out
can go-
there
you
in
can go
western
check-
Nebraska and no man's land out there.
Yeah, you can go check that stuff out, man.
I was delivering license plates when I was in community corrections when I was in prison, like right before you get out and shit, man. And
Oh, I do want to talk about community corrections because not to interrupt, but how the fuck do they keep losing people? But we'll talk. We'll talk about that after you're done
Okay.
talking about your
Yeah, I
license
was
plate.
delivering license plates out there, man, and I used to call him Mr. Magoo because that's what he looked like. I mean, and being from Nebraska and mainly southeastern Nebraska, Omaha, some Grand Island, Hastings, you know. Other than that, Western Nebraska, bro. Have you been in Western Nebraska?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like off
Yeah.
the interstate?
Yeah. When I was working that security job, I used to have to go to Scottsbluff every once in a while. Drive 8 hours to sit in a Social Security office where nobody came in.
There's no
But
body,
they're just-
nothing.
Yeah, they have to have a security guard
Yeah.
there. So like I would sit there and just chill for 8 hours.
Nothing.
And then go home. They would pay me like time and a half for the drive there and back.
Yeah, and he did tell me. I saw. We did see the bison. Did you see those bison? The bison farm or whatever.
Yeah.
Ted Turner. Ted Turner
yeah.
owns everything.
Yeah.
I think he said from North Platte west.
Yeah, there ain't shit out there.
Yeah, there's literally nothing out there. Kind of freaked me out. I'm like, man, we might as well be in Mississippi somewhere.
Yeah, there ain't shit out there. Yeah, so this community corrections place, I've never even really heard of it until recently, but they lost it was like 6 people in like 4 months or something went missing from community corrections. So what is it? It's like work release? Like they just...
It's a community corrections. So you're in prison and say you get sentenced to 2 to 5 years, okay? And you got let's say an assault charge. You got into a fight where they're going to give you points for that. However many times you've been to county jail, you get points. Whatever your charge is, you get points. Whatever your age is, you get points. You know, if those points are so high, they're going to send you to, like me, all my shit was high profile. So I got sent to a max facility. The NSP is max medium facility. There's a front and there's a back. So you got to go through your time, go through your rigmarole, and they're gonna classify you to medium custody. Then you go through your time, then you get your next reclass, then you go to minimum custody. I don't know if they still have minimum custody facilities around here anymore. But after minimum custody comes community custody.
Okay.
And what that means is if you've been in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I knew guys in there 40 years, they got to integrate you back into the community. And what that means is you got to go get a job. You can join a gym. If you're eligible to get your license, you can drive yourself back and forth to work. Yeah, I mean, it's everyday life, you know that you would have been living regularly had you not went to prison. But slowly they got to integrate you into that.
Okay.
Now to get over to community credit, and this is when I was in there. It's been over 10 years. You had to be within 3 years of your release date. And usually that means parole, because you can't be over there without getting ready, to get out, parole or one of or the other. And I just explained this to a person the other day. There's escape, then there's a prison word called abscond. Now absconding, it isn't necessarily escape. You can't escape the community. I'm already in the community,
Right.
Yeah.
So when it said this article is as of April 15th, the Lincoln Community Corrections has lost track of 6 inmates.
Yeah.
So that was it only took 4 months for him to lose 6.
Yeah.
And as of April, only 3 had been returned. So it's like they just went to work and didn't come back.
Yeah. And then me, when I was in there again, I had such a high profile case. I wasn't allowed to get work release. I was only allowed to get work detail, which meant
Inside,
my job was still through the state. I was allowed to go into the community, but it was for the state, where I had a guard with, or 2 or 3 around all the time. Work release, you're on your own. Now, say you got to be at work at 9 o'clock. They're going to let you go at 7. So you got 2 hours to get to and fro. Say you got to be back in the center at 10. You know what I mean? You got, in that that 2 hour window, what I mean, to get to and fro from work. And I know drugs were a thing back then, and obviously they've gotten much worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what it is. When I was in there, they came up with a I don't even know a program. We'll call it a program called RTC. It's called Residential Treatment Center, where it's a drug treatment center inside the prison. So you're in a prison within a prison. Not really helping these guys at all.
Yeah, that doesn't sound super helpful.
First of all, he has an addiction. He probably shouldn't be here. Now, unless he, broke the law or whatever. But still, he has an addiction. You guys are getting money for this program.
That's what it's
what
about.
I mean? And it's like the war on drugs it's never been a war. You know what I mean? But yeah, the majority of those guys probably shouldn't be in there. And due to the fact they're not getting the help. Hell, man, I mean, I was involved in a group in there one time. I never had any drug-induced crimes. I've never been high or drunk when I did any of my crimes, but they made me take a drug class. Yeah. So I'm going to this class, and, I've never seen anybody on heroin.
Yeah.
I've seen people on crack, coke, and shit, but heroin really wasn't a thing in Lincoln yet. And this chick, she's, like, not moving, like she should. She's fucking high on heroin, man. This is the drug counselor. Yeah, so, and again, like I said, I have never had a drug-induced crime, but I had to get that program before I was released. So there's really no help.
Yeah, that's just them checking a box.
It's just checking a box.
They went to treatment.
They were here. We fulfilled this quota. And then a lot of these people, man, and like they don't get and this is where I am on the back end of it. Like 6 months prison ain't enough time. He's barely detoxed. If you're going to put him in a program, put him in a fucking program, care about these people, and actually help these people, give these people, some motivation, and maybe, just maybe, I mean, I know a guy right now just celebrated 12 years. I know a old 75-year-old guy, 25. So those stories, those stories exist.
Well, and I mean, borderline, like doing drugs. Like, I guess I don't even think it should be necessarily illegal. Like, I mean, like maybe what Oregon did, decriminalizing it, but like
a lot of people didn't understand that.
So somebody goes and buys heroin, and then you catch them overdosed on heroin or whatever, and then you put them in prison. But put the guy they bought it from in prison, for sure. But I don't think drug users necessarily need to be going to fucking prison.
Nah. And then you put them in a cell with a guy, you know what I mean, that triple murder and don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And possibly don't make it home.
Yeah, I mean, especially not weed. Like, don't be putting people in prison for selling weed, man. Or just having weed.
Yeah, definitely having weed. And I think we're getting closer on that.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I just don't think they should be in jail in the first place, man. And jails are like crawling with these people who got arrested for heroin or meth or whatever. These people that escaped, they're arrested on heroin charges.
I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to assume, but most of them probably had an addiction. And like I said, if you're gonna put them in a program, put them in a program, man. I mean, isolation, straight isolation. Take them out to Western Nebraska. You know what I mean? And you ain't got nowhere to go out here. Yeah. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like that's escape. It's kind of impossible to escape the community. You're already in the community. It's actually called abscond. Look it up.
Yeah,
and maybe you'll
come
understand
back from work one day.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Speaking of work, I saw on Google News again the other day, a dude at a Frito-Lay factory fucking died on the assembly line, right? And his coworkers, they didn't even like give him a break. They made him move his body.
Oh shit!
And then get the fuck back to work, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, could you imagine? Working at factories is right. Have you ever worked at a factory?
No,
I haven't. Yeah.
Well, I take that back. I worked at Schneider's Industries.
That shit's gotta be rough.
I
man.
fucking loved it.
Did you have like a quota and shit? Like you gotta make this many.
Yeah, we had
this many units.
Yeah, we had to do that. Only place in the country that actually does what they do. So we had to like check in our phones, anything. We couldn't have our phones, anything with a camera on it. They make the big plastic drums that you see mainly farms, the whole, and I had these parts, you just drill them, put them in the oven, and if the part was big enough, it took 3 hours to cook.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm chilling. We playing dominoes and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that don't sound too bad. I'm talking factories like
Nah, I've heard
yeah, that shit has to fucking suck. Factories where you fucking die.
Yeah, I've heard Kawasaki, man. I heard like in the beginning stages, the grunt work there. Yeah, I heard a lot of people, man, they don't make it, man. It burns them out. Yeah,
my wife's dad, my father-in-law, works at Kawasaki. He has for a long time, but he works on one of the assembly lines where he has to put caulk on stuff. He has to put like the watertight stuff, but his fingers are all fucked up.
Yeah,
because he's been doing it forever, and it's like this chemical that he's been like wiping on his hands. And he tried to get reassigned, and they told him no.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and it seems like they think he's really fast, like he's really good at it, so they don't want to move him because somebody else will be slower. But it's like fucking his hands up. Like he had to go to a doctor. He had to get like,
damn,
yeah,
that's fucked up,
yeah,
right there.
Yeah, factories kind of suck.
Yeah,
man.
I always try to stay away from factory work. I always try to do shit like, detail cars, working so I could sell weed. You know what I mean? That was my thing. You know what I mean? Somewhere where I'm by myself, I ain't got nobody bothering me, and I can sell my weed.
Right.
Those are the jobs. Those are the jobs I tried to have, man. So I can sell my weed.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't do that at a factory.
Nah, I couldn't, man, and that's why I didn't have those jobs. Like even when I worked construction and shit, as long as we were like around Lincoln, surrounding Lincoln. Oh yeah, come, we over here, man. Come grab that. It's in the van, or I'm in the tractor right now. Yeah, hell yeah. My life revolved around that kind of shit, man. Not necessarily the job,
right?
Can I hustle while I'm here?
Yeah,
that was my cover. Because I never had a problem
That's fucking
working
funny.
a job.
Right.
I wasn't that kind of hustler. Like I understood, those days of watching Miami Vice with my dad. You know what I mean? You gotta have a cover. You know what I mean? You gotta have something. You gotta have a revenue coming in. That like fuck, man. I work at Super Savior third shift. I know you seen me, motherfucker. That's how I got this motherfucking Grand Prix. You know what I mean?
Right,
you know what I mean? So yeah, being able to do that. Yeah. Those are the kind of jobs I had to
Okay,
have.
yeah, so different priorities.
No
for
factory
sure,
work.
for sure. Yeah, that shit sounds like it sucks. And all you're doing is making Jeff Bezos rich, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes busting their ass, like at Amazon. And I don't know if all these stories are true, but they're talking about people like pissing in bottles because they don't have enough time to go to the bathroom and shit.
I've heard that.
Yeah, like what?
The drivers, you mean?
Yeah, well,
yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've heard
them
the
and
drivers,
the people in the factories.
Yeah,
and
I've heard that. It's not a good place
or the
to work.
warehouse.
I've heard some inhumane shit about from Walmart workers and
Really?
shit, man. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, why the fuck would you work there, man? But even they take advantage of people, man.
Yeah, that shit. It's like that just ain't fun. Like people work there because they have to because they have bills to pay. It's like like taking advantage of people that can't afford to leave.
Exactly.
Man,
a lot of people new to America,
Yeah.
single parent mothers. Yeah. That they exploit those people, man, and it's real fucked up.
Yeah. When I was working, I worked at this company down here working on student loans, and they had like every minute of your day planned for you. Like you showed up and you logged in and it was like, okay, so you're on the phones from this time to this time. Your first break is at 9 a.m. to 9:15. And then you're back on the phones from here to here. Your lunch is at 11:15 to 11:45.
That's a job?
Yeah. Like you get,
Holy
these are your
shit.
bathroom breaks.
That's worse than prison, man.
Well, yeah, and they based it on call volume. So they would forecast the call volume and then they would decide like when your lunch would be. So sometimes you would come in and look at your schedule and you're like, I have lunch at 10:30 in the morning because they mathematically.
So how long would the breaks be?
Well, you get 2 15-minute breaks and then a half.
So they
hour
broke it
lunch.
up like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking slavery.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they have every minute of your day mapped out like that, and they have it mathematically figured out to where like this is going to be when the phones are the most dead.
Oh
and
my.
dude, if you're out of adherence on your schedule, like you have to you have a status. So you switch your status to available for calls or busy or away from desk or whatever. And
That's
somebody watches that shit.
crazy.
It's somebody's job to check. So if you're out of adherence on something, you're going to hear from your supervisor. You know, your supervisor is going to be calling you. Why were you away from desk for 1 minute from 2:59 to 3?
I got fired that day.
Yeah, it sucked. It was not. Like you would get there, and then every minute of your day would be spoken for until you went home.
What, they had cameras everywhere? How would they monitor it? You just had to be at your desk.
Well, because you would switch your status. So you'd say, I'm available for calls right now. And then you would have, when you go to break, you would switch your status to break.
Holy shit.
But if you're on break too long, you're going to hear about it. Yeah, and me and my wife both worked there. And I remember telling my wife, she was like, I was up in the living room and I was going to stay up later than her. And she's like, why don't you want to come to bed? And I'm like, well, I don't like going to sleep because it means I'm going to be at work faster. Dude, and that's the moment that I was like, fuck, I need to get out of here. This is like ruining my life. I remember thinking like, I don't want to go to bed because then the morning will come faster than if I just stay up all night.
Well, yeah, that's crazy. You know, other than the money.
Yeah, like I hated going to work that bad where I was staying up super late just because I didn't want to go to sleep because I wasn't looking forward to the morning. And that's a problem, man. That's
how I felt
problem.
about my construction job.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hated it that much. I loved the money. I loved getting paid every Saturday, but
Yeah.
I fucking hated it. And then on top of that, I hated the way, if you've ever been on a construction site, it gets vulgar.
Sure. Yeah.
It gets real vulgar,
Yeah.
especially when shit don't go right. And I'm just not that. I'm not a yeller. I'm not a cusser. You know what I mean? I'll put my hands up before I say something to you.
Yeah, well, that seems like one of those professions where those tough guys that we talk about.
Yeah,
last
and I
week.
just wasn't. I didn't
yeah.
feel like I had to be like that because I work construction. But
Yeah.
I'll beat the hell out of you, dude. You know what I mean? Because I'm quiet. You know what I mean? I'll fuck you up.
Sure.
But I hated the way that job dictated my personality day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
So I always would stay away from jobs and just like I used to fuck with the prison guards in there. Like, why would you choose a job that dictates your personality day in and day out? You come in here and you got to pretend to be a fucking asshole to me when probably you're really not.
Yeah,
then you go out there,
you'd be cool if you actually knew each other.
You know what I mean? If you actually knew, you know what I mean? And then, we're human. Some people get twisted up in that shit and they don't come out of it. And you fucking go home and lose your wife, lose your kids, you know what I mean? And your friends don't want to be around you anymore. So, yeah, I always made sure to not, especially after that construction job, I don't want this job dictating my personality where I got to be a dick to people.
Yeah.
You know, this is why I'm in business for myself now. You know, I can be myself. Nobody looking over my shoulder. None of that kind of pressure.
Yeah, man, and that's what it's like in the Marine Corps too. And I know you've seen people like that.
Yeah.
You know, you were in the Marine Corps for 4 years, and now you're 50, and you still you let that 4 years of your life dictate who you think you're supposed to be, how you think you're supposed to present yourself. Like at this point, the Marine Corps is already a very small part. It's a very impactful part of my life, but strictly time wise,
and that's just it.
It's a very small piece of the pie. So why should that 4 years of my life have more control over my personality than any of the other 4 years?
Like I said, I have a history, but since that history, I've created a whole nother history.
Yeah, and that history is still there. It's just only, it's a piece that's this big now.
That's it.
And
that's it.
I mean, that's the difference between people that are interested in being different and not doing the same shit every day, I guess. Like I left the Marine Corps because I didn't want to be there anymore. So why am I going to act like I want to be there?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not, like, you left prison and you didn't need to act like you were in prison anymore. And it takes a while to stop acting that way, but some people do.
I beat it. Yes, we beat it,
exactly.
bro.
See, some people do and some people don't. We beat it. Some people still want to act like they're going to prison tomorrow.
You just got to fight that fight, man. You got to find out, that smack you in the face moment, which mine was. And I don't know if I've ever really talked about that genuine smack yourself in the face moment where I was like, this just ain't it.
Yeah,
this ain't it no more. I had been sentenced. I had beat the habitual criminal, which would have been a flat 10 years, no parole. So they maxed me out on a 0 to 5, and he gave me a flat fucking 5, right? So I'm like, okay, I can do that,
sure.
Whatever. I'm thinking I had been out of prison 4, 5, 6 years, but really it was only like 2.5. So I was like, okay, that was a legitimate habitual criminal charge, but I beat it. But I get to Tecumseh, man, and this is my first night in Tecumseh. And it happened to be Pancake Day the next day. Now, pancakes, man, that's like currency day. Pancakes are like money. Yeah.
He's trading pancakes for shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's a serious day. Motherfuckers get shanked in chow hall
over pancake day.
Man. Fuck yeah, bro. Now, we did explain before, I had came to prison from the streets. Mm-hmm. Sat in 90 in, probably about 80 days in D&E and then get transferred to my prison. So I still had outside taste. I still had outside desires, you know what I mean? All that, I still smell like outside.
Yeah, you could still smell what prison smells like.
You know what I'm saying? And it was, like I said, it was pancake day that next morning. And this is where I felt like, what the fuck, Damon? I got right back into the groove. Jumped off my bunk like, fuck, I gotta get in here. And by the time I got halfway across the yard, I remember I ain't had no long johns yet. You know what I mean? I'm new. I got to order all. And the wind's cutting across the fucking yard because Tecumseh sits up on a fucking hill, Castle Grayskull. It's fucking 30 below zero. The cow farm's over here. The chicken farm's stinking over here, man. And I said, I stopped and, what the fuck, Damon? And in Tecumseh, you got to keep it moving. You can't stop. Mm-hmm. And motherfuckers is looking at me and shit, and I'm like, man, how is it so fucking easy for you to just hop right back into this shit?
Yeah.
Man, what the fuck?
Like, the shit sucks.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, man. Fuck this shit, man. I ain't no motherfucking prison penitentiary ass motherfucker, man. I ain't gonna live the rest of my life like this, man. I ain't about to be known like this. And whether I get my pardon or not, I don't give a damn, man. I beat that shit.
Yeah, I think that's a good moment to have, I don't think I've ever had a moment like that, because I mean the Marine Corps wasn't necessarily something that I needed.
Totally positive.
Yeah, it wasn't, and I mean not totally, but it wasn't something that I wanted to forget about. It wasn't something that was like I was ashamed of it. So I mean there was a little bit of, like, when I was working at that student loan company, there was people who were like, you're scary to talk to, like people don't like talking to you. And I was like, oh, okay, so I need to change up how I'm acting to people.
Yeah, that was that moment, man.
Yeah. So
when you got a total, like, like for somebody that known you since you're a kid and you come back home, you're like, damn, Tom's an asshole now.
Yeah.
They've known you. They saw that change, that progression. But for a stranger, right. I think that would cut me a little deeper.
Yeah, and I don't like we talked about last week. I don't want to present that. I don't want people to be worried about coming up and talking to me about something. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want that at all.
Yeah, I don't ever want to present some kind of intimidating aura. And I'm not even telling that story to be like people think I'm tough. Like, I don't care. If people think I'm tough,
nobody likes you. Nobody wants the guy around, man. Nobody wants that guy around. He's cool to watch on the shows and shit, but even he eventually gets his ass kicked. Debo got whooped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when he gets his ass whipped, everybody loves it.
Debo got whooped. You know what I mean?
Have you ever? We're at an hour. We can probably go like another 10 minutes or so.
Let's do it.
People like when we go a little bit over. Have you ever? What's your experience with hallucinating? I mean, it can be drugs. It can be whatever. I'll tell you my story first. I've hallucinated just from straight up dehydration and being tired, which is scary. It's like this moment where your brain suddenly is something that you can't trust. But we were doing a training thing on 29 Palms, and 29 Palms is actually, I said it was huge, and you were like, wow, that's big. It's actually even bigger than I thought it was. So I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Bigger than what you said?
Yeah, it's let's see, 931 square miles of just Marine Corps base to do training on. Yeah,
it's 700 miles to Denver. 700 something miles to Denver from here.
Yeah, 29 Palms Marine Corps base, 931 square miles.
And that's just Marines.
That's just the base.
Oh my God.
And it's empty. It's mostly empty. There's the main side where everybody lives, and there's the store, and there's the McDonald's and shit. But yeah, the rest of it is just empty. Just ranges. You just go out there to like set off bombs and shoot stuff. It's actually
fucking crazy. You could get lost.
That's exactly. Let me. Yeah, I'm about to talk.
Man, I'm like, oh my God.
I'm about to talk about that. So one day, one of the officers had this idea to do this like training exercise.
Right.
They split us up into groups, and they come to us and they say, "Hey, so we're just gonna drop you off here." They give us a map. And in the Marine Corps,
you're already freaking me out.
Yeah, well, they give us the GPS unit or whatever, but they want us to know how to land nav and stuff. So they give us like a physical map, and we have to know how to read it and use a compass and all that stuff. So they split us up into teams, and they picked this big area. I don't remember how big the area was, but it was like a few square miles, and they drop us all off at random places inside of it. And
individually,
yeah, as in our groups.
Okay,
we had groups of we were like 10 people.
Okay.
So, and they go, okay, so the whole point of this is for you guys to just find each other. So they want us to get like our tracking on and like start looking for footprints and stuff like that, and like getting up high and looking for each other. And it's like if the other team sees you, you lose, and if so it's kind of a competition at that.
Cloak and dagger.
Yeah, so we're out there for like a long time. They drop us out there in the middle of the desert for a while, dude. And first of all, like I said, I don't remember how big the area was, but none of us ever saw each other, ever. We were walking around the desert looking for people that we never saw, and we were tired as shit. We were barely sleeping, obviously, because we were doing like an op.
You say desert. Is there any vegetation, any trees, anything in the way?
No.
And you still didn't find each other?
No, No, it's just big. There's like mountains and hills and rocks. It's a desert. Yeah, straight up. So, yeah, we didn't see each other at all, but we are looking really hard for each other. And we get real tired and we get real thirsty. And, dude, one day, like, we're up in this observation post type thing, just, like, scanning me and my friend. And he's like, dude, I think we're getting surrounded by wolves. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he straight up thought that there was wolves, like, circling us. He thought he could see their little eyes, and he thought he could hear them growling, but there was nothing. He was just tired and thirsty.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I'm looking across. I remember looking across this big, like, just empty area. I was up on a hill. I was looking down over it, and I was like, "Oh, I see somebody running." And I'm like, "Come look at this." And everyone's like, "I don't see anything." And I'm like, "There's somebody running across the thing," and they're like, "No, there's not."
It's happening to you now.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Damn, I'm fucking tired and I'm thirsty, bro." But yeah, we didn't see anybody. We're all exhausted. We are exhausted to the point where we're hallucinating, and we're all like trying really hard to see a person. So we're all hallucinating like weird shit. Yeah, you ever been there?
Yeah,
or like
I have
done the psychedelics. I've never done psychedelics.
I have. I've done acid, and
shit.
I was hungry the other time, but freshman year,
you were hungry.
The second time during hallucination. Yeah, I was in school, and I was a little hungover. But I remember.
All right,
the first time, freshman year, Me and my homie, Danny Liming. What's up, homie? But his older brother worked at a gas station over in Piedmont. And his name was Troy. And he had acid strips.
Shit.
And, you know, back in my day, it used to be on blotch paper. And they would just cut little squares, tiny little squares, right? Now, we get out of the school. You know, I had to transfer to Leffler Junior High, and there's a big, huge field on the side of it. And I remember what I was wearing. This is when the Miami Hurricanes was the shit. So I had the green shirt with the orange lettering and some orange shorts and the green shoes to match. You can see me, right? Well, we go to the gas station, drop this thing on my tongue, and I'm like, I don't fucking feel nothing. You know what I mean? So he's like, just chill, wait a minute, right? And this is 9th grade promotion day, by the fact. This is back when you used to graduate 9th grade to high school. So we had a whole... You know,
so you're young.
Yeah. 16.
Okay.
So now we start feeling this shit. Man, the things, the noises, the sounds, and the shit that I heard while on this shit, man, but all enjoyable. You know what I mean? It wasn't a bad thing, you know?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried. I'm worried I'll take something like that, and then I'll have a bad day.
Yeah, man. The long story short, man, the principal, we ended up in the wrong class. The principal, Mr. Carroll, may he rest in peace, black dude, man, used to talk to us like our dads, you know, just like our dads used to. Came to the room, man, snatched us out of the room. I remember I was wearing my hat, and there was a no hat rule in school, man. We sitting there giggling, cackling at him, man, and he still didn't get it, man. We ended up graduating that night, tripping on acid. Second time I hallucinated on acid was freshman football. And we were one game away from taking city that year.
Yeah.
We were all tripping on acid and shit. And I don't know if you ever watched this movie for the old heads. There was a movie called The Program.
Never heard of it.
Oh,
never heard of it.
Well, probably, it's in my top 5 sports movies.
Okay.
The Program.
Cool.
Well, there was this white guy on there. His name was Latimer, the steroid guy. Huge motherfucker, man. Beast. Well, he used to paint his face like a skull.
Yeah.
Put the black paint on and put the white around it and then put the teeth on his face and play football like that.
Damn.
Well, there were like 9 of us that were doing this. But there were like 2 of us tripping on acid, man. I broke blood vessels in my forehead. Yeah, so I was fucked up, man. That whole night, that was a good one, man. Yeah. But I always had it in my mind that this is the shit. This ain't real.
Oh, yeah.
I've always been strong-minded. Like
yeah,
that.
that's a good. So, what kind of stuff did you see? Just like shit just looked weird?
Yeah, watching Godzilla. Oh, man. And we over a girl's house in the basement. We ain't supposed to be at her house, man. And I still don't know how we didn't get caught. Sneaking in the snow, and snow was like it was on stereo, dog. We outside in the middle of the street, walking on the snow, talking about shh. Nobody fucking hears us, you know what I mean? But the shit's crunch. I'm like, oh my God, man. Fucking riding our bikes down the parking garages downtown. Felt like we was going 200 miles an hour, man. Damn. I don't know how nobody didn't get fucked up that night, man. Yeah, shit like that. Walking from one side of town to the other side of town, just doing stupid, crazy ass shit. Seeing shit in the trees, just crazy ass shit, man. 90s shit.
Damn, 90s shit.
Kind of like the movie. What was that movie? The mid 90s? If you ever watched that movie, the mid 90s, bro, that's what we did.
All right. Well, on that note, let us know if you've ever hallucinated on some stuff. I guess send it to alwayschillinpodcast@gmail.com. Message us on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok as well. Like I said, we're 7 followers away from 1,000. Maybe, maybe we got there while we were recording. I don't know. But we will see you guys next week. See ya.